So Khalil Gibran was greatly influenced by Sufi poets, by the thoughts within Islam, by Muslims, even though he in fact was a Christian of the ancient Maronite church in his hometown, where he was raised in the Middle East, Lebanon. So we want to say a little bit about Islam before going into the Prophet. There are 5 pillars of Islam. First one is the faith, statement of creed. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. So this means that one is not to mix religions, one is not to worship Allah on day 1 and then worship someone else on day 2, and to have many gods, but to have only one God. So this is a monotheistic belief, and this typifies all the Abrahamic religions, that in fact there is only one God. Jews believe this, and Christians believe this, and Muslims also believe this. So they all believe in the same monotheistic God, called by different names and with different ways of worshiping. But this idea of monotheism is very important, and it typifies their approach as Abrahamic religions. Also, in terms of the second pillar, there's the daily prayers, usually said 5 times facing towards Mecca. We have this on campus. People do say their prayers here. There are areas. And along with that, we have almsgiving. So one is to give a certain amount of what they make to the poor, if they are able. We also have fasting during Ramadan. Finally, we have the pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in a lifetime, although not everybody has a chance to do this. But if one is able, as a Muslim, certainly they are encouraged to go on the pilgrimage. So some say that Sufis are radical Muslims, some say they are not true Muslims, others say they are at the heart of Islam. What they are is a group of mystical practitioners of Islam. And one of their most famous poets is Rumi. He was a 13th century Persian, and he was a poet, a jurist, a scholar, theologian, and of course a mystic. And he himself was influenced by many different ethnic groups in Iran, Turkey, and Greece, and other Near Asian ethnic groups, and by different religions as well. I want to give an example of his deep appreciation of love, which typifies much of his writings. So there are many love poems, and we can take, for example, the following quote: "Let silence take you to the core of life. All your talk is worthless when compared to one whisper of the beloved." What Rumi emphasizes is an inward sense of God. Note that the quote suggests to stop talking, to turn the attention inward, and that is where one finds the beloved, which is capitalized, which is his term for God. There are other love poems that I can read. Love is the water of life. What is agony of the spirit? To advance towards death without seizing hold of the water of life. I'll read another one called Lovers. O lovers, lovers, it is time to set out from the world. I hear a drum in my soul's ear, coming from the depths of the stars. Our camel driver is at work. The caravan is being readied. He asks that we forgive him for the disturbance he has caused us. He asks why we travelers are asleep. Everywhere the murmur of departure, the stars like candles thrust at us from behind blue veils, and as if to make the invisible plain, a wondrous people have come forth. There are many images of lovers in his poems, images of journeying. I'll repeat the line, I hear a drum in my soul's ear, coming from the depths of the stars. So he's able to think on cosmic levels of the incredible array of stars surrounding our world, yet at the same time is connected to the sound of a drum in the soul of the ear. So the very inward is linked with the great grandness of creation. And it is lovers who best experience this, within his belief system. So one is so passionate, one is so drunk with love, that for Rumi, the Sufi is one who sees God everywhere, in all things, as the beloved. As Rumi is an example of a mystical poet in Sufi traditions, so is Khalil Gibran an example of a mystical poet in Christian traditions. Gibran is influenced by Sufism, Christianity, and other traditions as he writes The Prophet. So we'll be looking at his book of poems, The Prophet, which is one of the best-selling book of poems ever. It was popularized over a century ago and continues to do very well. And we'll be reading about the Prophet and what he says to those gathered to wish him farewell.